So you're learning a trick for the first time, and you try to figure out the ins and outs, the whole mechanics of this particular trick. Then when you start to feel a little comfortable with it mentally, you then proceed with actually executing the trick. In time, you then start to feel yourself become frustrated with the trick. So you do what all the other skaters do. You take a break. You let it go for that day and you continue on the next day. You proceed with this method of training for the next, who knows, 6 months to a year. And you notice that you don't see any real progress. And then you think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? Have I been making the same mistakes over and over again, not learning? Then you have other people who start doing this trick immediately when they first start learning, say, a hard flip. They get it within the matter of 5 or 6 tries. Now, this was the case for me when it came to the nollie hard flip. I had literally left this trick alone after I landed it the first time. Granted, I've only been working on nollie hard flips from the beginning. I gave it a solid maybe an hour or two. And then that first hour is when I stuck my very first one. So I left it and then proceeded to land a few more. And then I completely let it go for the next, who knows, couple days. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then the following week, after not even working on this trick, I tried that nollie hard flip again, and immediately I landed the trick even cleaner. Now, going back to when I was a tadpole, when I was trying to learn my kick flips, I had the worst time ever. If you want to get an inside scoop on what I was thinking when it came to kick flips, I'll put a link on the top right corner, top left corner. Click it, check it out. Anyway, aside from that story, tidbit, what I was trying to get at is the concept of explanation and understanding, comprehension of the trick. And when it comes to learning a trick and you get it down and you try to express and teach people how to do certain tricks, you tend to explain the trick in like a book form and in almost like a lecture. But to the folks out there who are exceptionally good at it, it almost seems as though they have a difficult time to try to explain to someone the process of the trick. They just do it. An explanation could be such as pop, flick, wait, catch, land. But this idea really stems out to any type of skill set that a person has crafted over the years. It makes me wonder if people's explanations tend to get in the way of their mechanical skills in terms of their kinesiology, in terms of their body movement. So to give a really blunt example, your hand, you place it on the table and you try to think of moving your hand, right? You just think of moving your hand. But then you don't. But when you actually move your hand, then it moves. And then you try to explain that whole phenomenon to people. Oh, you just move it. The process of explaining something, conceptualizing an idea, a dream, it almost degrades, for the lack of a better word, the potential of what the trick has to offer when you mix it into your bag of tricks. Now, Julius, what the hell are you talking about? Turn this video off and go skate somewhere. Wait, just hear me out, because I may be on a cusp of something here. You know when you try to explain a dream and it works in your mind, but then you try to explain it to people, but then they come up with ways of backfiring that idea on you. When you explain certain ideas to people and you try to express it in a way where they understand those ideas, most people will try to seed those ideas as not plausible, when in fact They themselves haven't done it. And so how could they possibly know? Expressing your ideas to people can be detrimental to the goals and aspirations that you want to accomplish. Because if you are weak-minded, people can easily cloud your judgment. It doesn't matter what kind of ideas you have, anything is possible. But when you expose your possibilities, expose those ideas to certain people, they throw seeds of doubt in your mind and in your heart, not because they're assholes, but because they can't see it being done in their lives. Stay away from those assholes, man. They'll get you.
Fart.
So it's about that time where everything starts to dwindle down in terms of skating weather, nice days, relatively speaking. I miss skating already. Me being a Californian, it becomes pretty depressing when there's not usually much to do in terms of skating because of the weather, and with the whole COVID crisis going on, it's not conducive, really. Granted, people do skate anyway out in the rain and such, but I do try to take care of my stuff. That's why during this time, I focus most of my energy with the time that I am given apart from skateboarding. I hit the gym just to occupy my time and to really get into it, to really build myself up as a person, physically and mentally. Because I've noticed that during injuries and just the overall recuperation, I realize how important it is for the healing process for the body is. You want to be skating at your full potential when you're out there, and when you get hurt, you want to heal as quick as you can so you can go out to doing what you love doing. But there comes to a point where your body can only take so much, and when you've reached that threshold, you kind of have to slow down a little bit. Yes, you may feel like Superman and throw yourself, start jumping off breaking heal up from it. So as one progresses in their age, you you kind of have to be a little bit more conscious of your body, its capabilities. It is possible to be able to progress at such a high level in skateboarding as far as control is concerned and technicality, but you can't avoid all the injuries. You know, you can't avoid all those minor mistakes that you're gonna make, and when those come, it's slowly eating away at you. That's why at an early age you want to really be as conscious of your body as possible. You know, take heed of those veteran skaters out there, because they they know what the hell they're talking about. They lived through that shit. Speaking of health and well-being, headed out to the gym. I have hired a training coach for myself so that I can get more conditioned, toned, and overall build more muscle strength and size with off season in terms of skating. You know, granted minor spots here and there, it's granted me another opportunity to follow other pursuits, other endeavors that I want. I just recently experienced a minor, very minor injury on my shoulder. As I was doing bench press. The point of axis, it's hard to describe, but instead of pushing with my chest, I was pushing a lot with my shoulders. I wasn't really doing it much until my coach corrected me on it. I started to experience a lot of pinching on my right shoulder as I was pushing. I was able to get the appropriate weight up, but it became increasingly difficult, and I realized it was back then. So I was able to push 2 plates, which is 245s on both sides of the barbell, and I think I was only able to do it like 4 times. But I was ego lifting. I wasn't prepared for that kind of weight. Granted, I learned it at an early enough stage to where it was just a minor injury, so it didn't affect me as much, and I was able to heal from it. But now, having that knowledge from skateboarding, which I know I've done many a times, when you see that pretty girl just chilling out right by the bench and you're skating past them, doing all these tricks that you normally don't do just to impress that, you know, him or her, and your friends too. I mean, granted, it's kind of like an ego show for skateboarding, who can do the best trick and whatnot. But then again, you're really putting yourself at a higher risk. Granted, you know, with any rewards requires that risk. Moral of the story, calculated risk. Take note, take heed. Get out there and skate. There you go. There you go. There you go. That tastes like shit, man. There you go. That belongs right back there.